Hello over there again, and welcome to lesson 9 of module 1. And please note that this is the prerequisite lessons before you start your full stack class. In our previous lesson, we looked at the introduction to domain name system and how it works, and using this diagram. In this particular lesson, we are going to look at the structure of the domain names, and we see how the domain name is written and what is the general structure of it. So we said the domain name is a human readable address that is used to identify computers or websites or servers and services on the internet. It maps to an IP address, and that is done through the domain name system. So instead of using the IP address, which are more difficult to memorize, we choose to use the domain names, and for each domain name maps to the corresponding IP address. An example of a domain name could be a name like this one here, www.codearchive.ac.ke. And when you look at this domain name, you can see that it is made up of different parts, and these parts is what we are calling the structure of the domain name, and these parts are separated by the decimal dots. Right, so let's look at the different sections and the different parts of the domain name. So the domain name is made up of the levels which are separated by the dots. The first part is the top level domain. We have the part called the top level domain, and the top level domain is the rightmost part of that domain, and it looks like this. It could be .edu, .org, .com, .net, .gov, .k, .uk. So the top level domain identifies the it could identify the country, it could identify the type of that organization, whether it is a commercial organization or whether it is a non-governmental organization, whether it is a government organization, and also the country where that organization is. For example, UK represents the country code of United Kingdom, KE represents country code Kenya, GOV represents the government, NET is a network, COM is a commercial website, ORG is a website for the governmental organization, EDU is a website for the education. Then we have the next level, or the next part, we call it the second level domain identifies, which identifies the organization name. So when you look at this organization, we have this second part of it here, which is called code archive, telling us which organization owns this domain name or owns this website. So we have the code archive, and with the top level domain here, these two are the top level domain. The first one, AC, identifying that it's an academic institution, and then KE identifies the country code Kenya. Then we have the subdomain, which categorizes the website. So we have different types of websites. So the website could be a blog website, or it will be a worldwide website. So for example, here the subdomain in this domain name is the World Wide Web, www. Then the root domain. The root domain is the combination of the second level domain and the top level domain. So the second level domain and the top level domain, so these two form the root domain. Then we have the fully qualified domain. So the fully qualified domain name is now the combination of all the levels. So the whole of these forms now the fully qualified domain name. So when you take this domain name and put it on your browser, then you should be able to reach to this website if it exists online. Alright, so these are the different types of the domain name, and that's how what we call the structure of the domain name. So the structure of the domain name has the top level domain, the second level domain, the subdomain, the root domain, and then the combination of all these levels to form the fully qualified domain name. Otherwise, that's all on the structure of the domain names, and thank you for joining, and see you in the next lesson.